yenya ntɛm no mo medi nkomo esa no say ye prostate no ese say ye kwa check na afi no ye da ye ho so erenti no wa wo experiences ane mama be boso yi kan hunu say prostate na ho keka ba no erenti no say wo dwon so frequently pan at night and afi so no wo dwon so ye den say be ba wo dwon so moja ta atwe wo dwon so ye weak say be ba ne nyina ye signs of ye prostate no erenti ye ntem na woni eyo batampa process center fo nkodi nkomo na ombebo pa ese fatase so ko hode en ye kaswa fifi prad last stop hono me ese wo komo kaswa nya no kwan so ha arentu no my friend no was 05538000678 05538000678 na woni eye obatampa process center for indi enkomo na ombebo pa
Let me tell you about my baby.
Address sonko
She give it to me.
I call ye pa address ebio o normal to say yes o stress and 11474 T74 I address sonko kra address o normal to say yes o bon ho ban enkanka blood related diseases be to say high blood sugar, chronic wounds, hepatitis B and C, HIV, kidney infections, liver infections, also prostate enlargement, and after say bad breath, and then menstrual pains, chronic cough, asthma, chest pains, arthritis, and after say swollen faces in the feet in Nadia. They are 13 and 74 T74, and it's also copy now what talk never boapa T74. I address from Kokra. If you diagnose take a ball industry for Hoba, I need to know person who jinche chumuye party. I'll be from on 0246 073498 0246 073498 and I say 050 1628931 050 1628931. Now when a diagnostic herbal industry funding come on, a 13 and 74, Ubenya be away pharmacy shop and after so herbal centers Nina won Sabekebe 80 and interment now when a diagnostic herbal industry for Indy and come on and for 13 and 74 home.
This one your body, you sing for the girl. Say pam something can show say Easter na nedoro. I didn't know what person upon my day before Easter no express in the door yeah. Ain't me ha ho kra. The best when it comes to the best. On one che pam. Ain't you in time way. So we beko a Easter. Now one time they go on pim pam here no. Che pam so funny na brand obe pam mama. Say your wedding dear. Say your sorry dear. Say your office dear. Say your him for dear na wo ko be bia person wo ko bia. And one can dear wo ho. On not be pam atare so na fe ye do numbers. Down for number now with fans. Now man for show. I'm say what? Atare na fit to say. Ding na aye chipam. Chipam some can just so what we should market on man or war. And I'm facing no the entire no only bow form or pim pam on one to me ba office say some be susu. Now was san call on one sign delivery no so the amount. Papa na mu abrante na mu no oyeni nyina. Chipam 020-683-7738 020-683-7738 and then the number friend what it or what will she market Chipam or see your custom tailoring assassin the open be party as a fata says a one a company a sonko company when it comes to your land issues and one in Namal Estate and Construction Limited. Namal Estate and Construction Limited, some men can't will say, and Sassanum Gusu Eton, Omo package no, and also a war, and Tomu promo no more, and also one of Tassase, near 100 pieces of a blocks, Nafashe Ejumana say, Umpe win up at the end. Namal Estate and Construction Limited, as a man can't show sense, Sassinu Guayama, some I do the work as what teacher Mante, it would be good danger Kotoku Fanchineko, a honina and Sassinu go home, ain't an interment, Nako Pebito, Nebeb wow.
Namala Set and Construction Limited, office no Masama Obey Forest, or Honomana, office in the wall, identity from where on 0205 051525 0205 051525 and answer there 0598 653 9999 0598 653 9999. Now when they are Namala Estate and Construction Limited for Indy and Komai. Now my boy Yepa. Against because you're full of irony. Them I watch and I wonder who we are. Anytime them see me, I'm a pretty girl apart. Tell the enemy them to stay far. Cause you know me not have time for no walk. And then a Bayport Financial Service and Canchos on fixed deposit to no Mugusu Young Juma. And into the end in term now near your Bayport Financial Services for encoding come on. The Bayport Financial Services for the no more tna. Oh, be able to me ko ye. Omo fix deposit no more ye no one. Jackie and in term na kwadibi. Na ye wate. Ukra 5,000 and above. This week you must have ko ye bio. His son is ko ye. Profit in that that's on. Oh, ko ye papa. Maximum returns. Ain't in the end in term when. What it down kasa. And one I make a show Bayport Financial Services. I say omo fix deposit no. Omo ye bosumi nsia de omo ye bosumi miensa na fe sa fe ba ko de wo ho. Do pese wo ye bia na pacho wa Freye Junior Manager na kasa mu ora boni na ne no ND enkomoi. Awo ye 0245 153283 0245 153283 and I say 026 300 799 7922 026 300 7922. Now we need a Bayport Financial Services for ND enkomo. And it's a 7:52 in the studios of Kessben 92.9 FM, and I feel so Kessben TV on DSTV channel. It's channel 364, and then on Go TV, channel 121. And then on Facebook, Kessben TV, and then on Facebook again, Kessben 92.9. Now, when you enter from now, and Kusita maybe we say Jumedi we indeed, the who be no so get the ebe bro. Obviously, and then just as I said, we'll concentrate much on the disaster that occurred on Sunday where Accra New Town, home komo ebedi ene ye pa. I mean, one of the buildings there was a story building where Accra New Town, and edwede good form Sunday no kwesiada no na sebi union nom na ebimu ewomu a sebi ye yomo AP as of now no the figures we're not too sure with the figures, but we'll still come back with you with details. So far in him said 3 dead, 20 hospitalized, and Nasisiano yatie, but as and when you be who said the echo no, we'll come back with all the details to you and if you have, so we're going to be there live na yamau live streaming, live coverage if you Accra New Town honoma and a seminal AC the premises of Accra New Town Experimental Basic School. Honum and asa at Rentrem AC. We're going to go there and then we'll give you a live update on that one. But I'm Sanano, my memfa a health segment no Emma and a Joada and I know ye share at the full topic, full swing. Ye de everyone, but of course ye be ye health segment na ye ne yankasa ye doctor, Obibia doctor. Kessben for doctor, me personal doctor. Doctor Siama, our line no so Jenny Francis because doctor no good. Now you know ND and come na no ye shasi ene a Monday a Juada eko nyina ne de ni besua ye be hni nyina dog me ma wache ma wakwa ba me sure say unya happy weekend.
Yeah, senior. Oh yes, me very happy weekend, and me time so to me rest take a class. So we got say I'm charged.
Nice. And why do you want home?
Yes.
Why do you want home? You my into me and you home and say
Senior, rest is also part of the exercise. So.
Same time because you my and you home and say I say a tone suffer than the day na ye fro a woni ye famu na yesua de ene anope ene eye joada ene edin na upese omanfo omote ene edin na de ehyasie adwode amomo wadama.
Yo, Senior Midasi, thank you for this opportunity to speak on such a big platform as well, Midasi Pa. And then if I see any other four, it's one major thing coastal saying, because we used to see it in the elderly, but I am very common in the young adults. So these days, they are friend arthritis. They actually the arthritis.
Okay.
If I tell, you better share the cause of arthritis. Then we will look at some of the signs and symptoms. Then now you share complications, and we can use and to look at those ones. Then we start a very intense topic within the week. So, like we said, we are charged into this week. You better cause to your home for baby. If we turn on, senior, yes, we come out any obiatic. Come on, so you know a part of it. Nti metal na when I'm red na OTM you can say arthritis basically derived from a Greek word your friend atron gina homa joint so ya baby adompem yenu ihia nti say ya hwe yekotoja it's an example of a joint your shoulder example of a joint even your nsatia no so kra no dompem ihia onti example of a joint na akwaya joint nti nyankopon the special structure bi na amano ye beka se morphology no say don't pay me no ni hia ni ntem pe no ye wo de ye friend cartilage no akwa bi se grey jelly like cushion don't pay me ni nyina be settle on sane be ya don't pay ni tinum pempem enko for how emba ebiom yakopon ama ye de from tendons and a ligament I say bands beer and also connected no together on the sides. Sani abaya obeti move freely. If you also your what your friend synovial fluid. Synovial fluid near insure bia a friction a building. Sanya I want to bet me ayatra, obet me articulate joints easily and move freely without any stress. It is our shoulder, ultimately move shoulder easily coining which easily because of that bolt and socket joint or here my one air tro move freely. Sana yankopon ayano. Na se changes baho na as sanya yankopon ayan and pet na akofo however now doctor started so nobody arthritis home come. It is obekaya you can say immediately arthritis biano itis in a inflammation and atron switching a homa joint. It is a arthritis there. Then we are talking about inflammation of a joint. It will go to geno ahono, we show down ahono, when it pedian baby ahono because of problem abasa joint one. I know and doctors I can say arthritis. Now arthritis you go would be brave. Your friend osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis no chance don't peno. Baby, I was say Asian cartilage na den temuno eri intineri no ama don't pen anke any kwan say Asian gradually omuti pem ebetime your how opportunity pediano so ebiso wa na rheumatoid arthritis but your rheumatoid arthritis which I say you pediano your immune system na bo fight infections ni efian ho do a eba ni pediano nanso ato de bia immune system no sin be overactive. Overactiveness no start to say or attack it body na nkasa kai so maybe you can say your immune system no that e can yes obey attack any ekuyeni kura ama ya blind it your immune system dey only dey say attack defense it all defend the body need dey no start attack it titru your joint no synovial fluid no na akwa koma ehwo no ahonho no na ehwo so the issues and complications ehwo so e dey aba. Ebiso na a septic arthritis. A septic arthritis at the end is infection. Infection need to be microbes. And more I am finding a warm. It's through skin conditions, Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus aureus, bacteria, or your skin, no, and my skin problems will be brain, no, it may cause arthritis, so it may the back. Oh, my chance, no body, no pet, no my settle, I was a synovial fluid, no my infected joint, no, now I want to arthritis, not a home, no, knowing your problem. If you see a dear friend, gouty arthritis, if I tell gouty arthritis is very, very common. I want any animal member, Mupan. And you won't say, Bama do a nine cockromotin, there be a the cockromotin, there be a huno, the cockromotin, there be a sheno. It's on 3 points issue. Now, Koya said, of a saw share and idea, 7 years, more chef slippers and qua. The pacho, and yes, ocean now treating, and yes, gradually, at your how better kidneys so. The attorney said, Yenny Pediano, you are a Diania, ye proteins, name your man would be brain. Your liver, and also a converted protein into a uric acid. First into porridge and further into uric acid. Uric acid is a waste. The body doesn't need that waste. Into body, no, I will say, kidney, no, I will say, you na free any pediano. Now, to say kidney to me, this argument, any protein in free. I'm an free body in the settle or joint, no. Now I'm my joint, no, so I don't now only gouty arthritis. And see, ever fat, when I crab a year, now a woman be bring uric acid near be brave. I, woman, it's me say joint, no. Emma, it mean not pains. Pains, no, you're very severe. It's answer kai. Don't pay any coin say Shiano. To see, I know Mutino a yap in Pim Asia. And no, it me your how. Eba ni pediano so eni ma a kwatwe twese anema we nyina aba na betu ne bin say risk factors no say senior be no me ni nyina ejuma ye empo ebikwa ye drive ye tenase for so many hours ye tenase ni nyina ye chika say no ye cartilage na wo ye dom pemu ye vertebral column no na ere yes so ye fiase anema bebre heavy loads. Yeah, they are more day. Now, I saw a video just yesterday. A guy be one fat and more back Marco 5. Kessben be and was here the patch out. When a few moments later, no, Ubon said, not when you have spinal problem. Now, I want then I war, they don't pay me na ira. It's yes, and your mother brave. Yes, so you're a school. Yes, sir, bag, books, bebre, bag near the aboyechi near the amayan man no more the school no but oya quarantine you don't permit me healing them then so in a long term bet me ama when your problem I want the cartilage you know in a long term bet me affect the spine ama and also so akofa or how e the aba yen so aye mu ye du bebre aye kese bebre ya family be obesity but so person to me check obesity state and that's all kese ya do you will be a friend be a body mass index. Oko any hospital and now pharmacy be as officer check here or be boa now I check now we wait no it's answer wait no so at the pressure at to cartilage no so to joint no to see no any cotogeno any ankle no who say one na no ya be brave and also so or how to make offer about yes so I pen sa they be ya can yes no sabe brave no so me pa chow I say okay ni wage ma bebre a Oliver so wage ma bebre a did that now so dey nsa akwaka ho ne de and also so etimi Maakye na ho dey ba for month me convert and ye your how any feeling na no so to me cover problem we but smoking so e ka ho yes so e bia ye exercise now so ye bra ye mpe any proper treatment na ya share ho akwakoto ndro painkillers ahodro ye kobobo na ye ko exercise and ye feel say bia ye prade dan ti ma me painkiller bi then kill pain ni ma me na me ndi juma no ni na na o say sa joint na e betimi ama serious complications about impo ebi wo arthritis ni bi wo spread it into the kidneys spread it into the liver spread it into your through rheumatoid no emre ma ye kwa me yenhwe complications no nanso nyankopon de yankwa chen o china ye be don wonsu kwa he complications na total deformation of joint etimi di eba ebiom semicell so what conditions ya ye bombo si ye arthritis na ma enya o say Oliver enka ho akra ye hie ma ho say Oliver ka ho ebi kra ye septic arthritis aye kai ye hie ho say yes, I was your liver no and the body answer a better efia would draw efia microbes. It's the immune function of your liver no very important when it comes to arthritis. Empo ebwa with the gouty arthritis no as well. It's myself, but more than yam remain or china so near symptoms no yambo when to call you near more complications no then so complication and a challenge be a bomb so ne on sa yet treaty ukoto ya we chika sa no so ya okon ya oya e man na timi ya din ma o nan e tata na o koto je na hu na udi agwa kakra pe na ekura bem udi agwa kakra pe na twist ni na no e science e kira o say one hwe ya na long term no nanti e be ya din. I was reading an article just this weekend and I mami hu say so person when you you should be able to walk. Inti obia when you 190 years na ultimate nantino obetime nyache because the more you walk the more you help with your circulation, you burn some of the basic fats no na ema muscles no so enya ahode ni nyina aye enoma oya ebetime aboa woni pedia no eno nti yen very careful e wo de aye didi enum enura aye fa any empo ye tenase ye tani ye tenase ni time ye ho ni nyina no ebeboa ema apomden no titru dompem yare aba for Kenya anope kakra ho no
yara se additional ne ahase na watwi de bedi nkomo ye pa just as se rochena no ye he sentence na afi no amane ewubu nyina ne de ebeba nyina ne ehu de ebeye no na Liverpool ebi wo ho.
Oh yes, Liverpool the brain ho ope bi ato enya den kra pharmacies ahodo nyina okosa opesi for Liverpool na obenye bi na ebia na ne dodo no wenye bi wo ho ampa cho e mane how number medi to joye ne dia ohu on screen no so no offer 24/7 ye bejo so na ye place ya free delivery ya dia ma be bia wo pese ye di bra obia no ye de be bra wo ha ontua hwe pa cho take this opportunity. If you also have a special discount, we are running. So, ultimately, a more than one bottle per head, be our special discount here. Okay. Good timer. FDA approved Livoton. It will be at me for 12 years and above. If I show pregnant woman, they be on your car, you know, nobody come on near church or never be brave. But when I Livoton, so I bet you know, if you are near also with the any kind of with the none in an upwa and my pomodeno, so SCP and anything for number 24/7. Ofra ya bejo so na ya no edi enkomo 050 00 40 331 050 00 40 331 C4C ya wo Cape Coast Green Hill opposite Addison Square Garden aguna ora bensi o kuma se wa jiso kwa mojache Junction takwa de si o branch kase ba ho me pa choku akra ha de ya wo Adenta SDA Junction. Ejuma from Monday ekosi Saturday exactly 7 a.m. on to 5 p.m. Treatment plan no holistic. Ya be investigation na show organs ni nyina ansa na the natural homeopathic remedy account. Take an advantage na friend number 050 00 40 331 and now 050 00 40 328. Ya da branch no so ejuma to friend number in the enquiries dia wa ya yabati ya bwasi achirachiro mu the pacho C4C liver specialist hospital ya se obrebo eya won kwa ntikai na channel so na kai say ya giandro ni di e treatment plans ni di tina bi ya ka say once treated forever treated senior anope with a civil play yankopon ka ho no crew no pamfo nyina amen.
Amen. Meso medasi pa Dr. Esiama and then didn't come from C4C Liver Specialist Hospital and then didn't come on our health segment. I the brother ni den yina a Kessben match so catch him live again a ochina God willing obeba Dr. Esiama beba na afi de ahihye so e wo hono na afi no yakoye nim ye pa. I don't know menko baby bia your text messages in afi so no or WhatsApp messages in apacho fa ni nyina bra making kan ni nyina amount so today we will delve much deeper into what really occurred. So it was a Sunday na yenim se kwesiada de na enye eda obi beka se eda bone na mum no akofa nsem bebre na no abrayen. What really has transpired, a very serious disaster occurred. So, on a fateful Sunday, that was just about yesterday, and an uncompleted structure the premises of the Accra Newtown Experimental Basic School. Accra Newtown, hey, yeah. And I agree. Interestingly, na Sunday into Rebecca na esukufo enimu die na nso no these buildings na enim se sorry no eyusu ede ya sorry every Sunday biano entina worshipers omako Sunday Easter Sunday omako se omako akos som nyame na afi esan ente se atomo ewo building me no ho komo ene ba be di enano yesterday we had a good run with it when yesterday Richard Apiasapon de yefemu from enyumre no I think almost about 7 p.m. there about the almost about 8:39 there about wanting to see what really transpired into no oko Facebook Kessben 92.9 na Facebook Kessben TV obehu ne nyina were live yesterday on 92.9 we always tell you that we want to be the first when it comes to news I don't know we don't joke with it into na near wo hono mo a ye dey live feed no ebro at the same time we're showing you videos on Facebook for you to watch exactly what was really transpiring the scene where Accra Newtown. So yesterday and as I said no AC a building no collapse ama nina ejuri but we understand say ye mama no ne ye papa no no mo wase no 3 dead as to whether no crash training na no figures na the basis ya na channel out and according to the Minister for Interior no no ho common e bedi but so far no what we know as media na say 3 dead 20 hospitalized again we're told say woman no mo ye be nipa 24 and na a woman mo sorry ewo honum that is what we are told but we still will get the real figures as and when the official report ebeba so we'll continue to give you update on that but yesterday a team of National Disaster Management Organization National Ambulance Service Force ewo and then you go to find Ghana Police and Maakye na no person was in now honoma looking into what I caught some videos that I watched on Kessben 92.9 Facebook yesterday. Utimi hu se bebrina no prepare pa ambulance no fa omo akọ. This reminds me of what really happened with Malcolm DSC wo Achimota. It also reminds me of other ones CCCC Krum Hanomwa. We ask ourselves, why are we seeing the latest one before this one? I think within the same enclave where Roman Ridge area Honomono and also XC and also the Fofra AC Honoma Ridge Hodiano. We also want to look at it very well near here. There no so AC Fana no you see building now. Somebody want to ask ayana details no at saying ayana ye jai buildings be say yen twaswa. What is the way forward for ASR buildings? Who is even checking some of these buildings now? They to a honomono. But Meko Ahumano Sona Mene engineer Yike Asante Eddie and Como construction and building engineer, right? Minene Bedin Como is not on Zoom. Okay, so we're going to do with our phone. So now fe ya twaso our honum na ya share the echo engineer. So what me can I'm watching more kwa by back Kessben TV. So now fe so Kessben 92.9 FM Accra. So yesterday was very very unfaithful for all of us. That building, story building na the premises of the Accra Newton Experimental Business School. Unfortunately, na sorry for a woman akofa oha bebre na aba. Minim say we follow fitting ra ebesi sesemre. Tell me first off, what you see when it comes to how we mobilize to deal with disaster no when it in the first place.
Okay, let us next year we'll see also me mamun na so action. Sana Indra, the Mediano Koyen, it was unfortunate. So it was a very unfortunate incident. I think it traveled throughout the night to this morning, which they are still doing the clearing of the debris. With organization of the disaster management in there, definitely so Obia Aye, Nafabudi, especially the community members, on my idea, because mostly say disaster this year, they are the first call of point. And Sana Nadmo, Abem, and Sana be a fire service, Abba. So my family say, oh my idea, it's good. It's good. They've all contributed, and then they've all made an effort to save lives.
Okay. Engineer, mami din komo sa komo we. I mean, you be din komo in ye pa. We just want to understand the nitty-gritties of all these things that are happening. Now, first off, say ye see dan bi to say senior ye huya. I mean, we'll show how the building was at first in an AC hono and a collapse site, no. But say ye see dan a dan bi to say you know. What are the processes one needs to go through? I mean, before you beat me, I can say you see a story building of this nature.
Okay. Mostly, Ghana has your building regulations and then codes are used for project. A single kind of person here. You have to follow the codes and then the regulation. In such situation, and I say in such project, you know. I know, say, government fund project. Here we say get fund, the fund is project. So, duly to go through a contract procedure, or mobile tender, people obey, and then the one who wins the contract is given the contract to work on. Now, when it comes to drawing, their proposed drawings are go through the permit process. The J drawings need to MOB who Juma Yababe you as a and Sana Yakoshe and Sana Yakoshe a dying trade after. So you have to go through the contract process, you have to go through the permit process, that's the design and then the permit process, and Sana to Medina started.
Okay. So it means that you go through a series of process before we see structures happening. Okay. It is a banesa na say the see dan bisa na ye ja ewo ho what will happen if a dino AC ho, because we understand this particular building here you can want me it's been there, if my memory serves me right. My producer was telling me it's almost about 17 or 7 years or so, and a AC ho without unattended to. Now, when buildings of that nature is unattended to for that long, what happens?
At the end of the day, a designer, you're lifespan of the project, right? Now, in such situations, that could be said they realize said there are some defects, so they will need to maybe manage the situation before it's being continued. But the issue is before you even start a project of such, you have to do your geotechnical works to see say as a crowd bit my carry down the basis now, which mostly some of the people ignore. Mostly it's been ignored, but you have to do that to make sure it's okay. And that is 3-story, 4-story, 5-story. Assassin bit my carry ye and sana yakwa assassin scrap for you.
Assassin akasana da ho necessary we check it.
Yes. Also check that. It's a bit mouse ya dynamic the basis na. Now your mouth drawings and now you use. So even at the initial stage, say mistakes to be bad, it should be corrected. Say mistakes to be bad at the initial stage now, because foundation now will be review assassin and one air cost. It is a foundation thickness in this one, and one what the cost. There's one, a be out use one water so. But we share a dime who said from Asia cost the same structure in an use.
Share building now a collapse here now is the same structure now no more use the coastal.
Especially with the columns, that's the pillars. We say a no normal coastal, which that could be a possible means causing the disaster. That could be a possible means causing the disaster. Anna and Graham realize the materials. Materials are used to be sedan. The Papama, a Jumabia Bay or Danubiano, a band of concrete, a band of mortar, also test the extra materials. Now, who are they? And some way you see a site.
Oh, I see. But Ojidisa Sandema okay, no, it has been done.
No, not all sites.
Okay.
Not all sites. I know of 1 or 2 companies. They even send the materials to the lab to check the strength of the material before say mobile issue a site. But not only say a contractor is your opening emergency car penny baby. So mostly the numuna na yes lab works no. And I was say your idea be was say sani you baby nti dan bia sa adwen na na dey. But shouldn't be so. As I see bia wo na ho odin, dan bia wo na ho odin. So you have to check all those things and sana. What kokra ko si dan.
All right, Kessben, my music engineer. There are two things that really happen to buildings. So I don't know whether you're proper. So obi see a dine you say okay. You see a dino. You draw plan on. Let's say you 2 bedrooms. Wahane 1 bedroom or so. Now as the building moves, na nipakrona musi ni diamond on asesa na adwen o fa 3 buildings room sorry ekosoro homa me na fa toilet ka ho ewo ho na ye form ni 2. It means that osan asesa plan na mudi AC no, yet they continue to put up that particular building. Sadia no esisa na we engineer. If your client along the line speaks to you on that level and tells you say redesign or restructure the design along the way, what are the consequences that comes with it?
Okay, so let me talk about the variations mostly or design, but then we look at the consequences. Mostly, the structural components. So that is the beams, the pillar, the air concrete, and the iron rods, and with the block work, most of them are partitions.
Okay.
So if there's going to be variations, first thing you have to do, especially say floor about the canwa, you have to do a structural integrity to make sure say floor nearby initial design is bit my career. You don't advise your client to go by it. But a bit my career, you can do the due. It means that you have to go back to the permit people for them to have a look at it before you even do it.
Okay.
Before you even do it. So and also with my consequences, sometimes you could realize one, well, no matter what you do, you have to do some structural changes. And then the most of the HSU beam, HSU pillar, see that anyway. But a partition changes now, mostly you can do it. But you have to go back to the district assembly with a variation drawing for them to help you out if you can go on or you cannot do it. So it's also another process on its own. You cannot just go that maybe 2-story, maybe back over the count. No, you have to go through the process, a permit process, before you can add.
Okay. Right, Asante, answer Abekokrano. Let's deal with this matter. The issue of where we pick artisans in the name of building yemfi will not go for Obibeka the correct officers to deal with, because ebiana is kasem and the omesi no what dinache and among friend number na ono so ba no so da begina we no metumi de ba kon ashahan we no medwe iron road ba ko shemu hanam da fa hanam any say these artisans versus more engineers, what is the connect when it comes to the building of structures within? Because we've seen it over and over and over again. We come back to the same thing, and then we look at the regulations, and then looking at these artisans and the connection with the assemblies and all that. These artisans, what do we do?
Okay, so with our connection with the artisans, mostly we do the administrative and the actual work, and then they just do the implementations on site. But they cannot do it alone. You have to supervise them, do what is on paper.
Okay.
Because before a drawing is being accepted at the permit office, they look at the structural works if it suits what you are about doing. We have structural integrity, especially of such building 3-4. Also, the structural integrity reports. Crack and sending amount permits. So with that, they'll know that okay, then you're on the right track. But on site, mostly cheap labor. Okay, on the other side, there are civil engineer and structural engineer. Obechiano, Ayika Manashe, and Jimamano. Already, making me bit my man in and one at the Yomo baby. So that is your and Obia Peso or Yusu. If you are not, maybe advise you say, obi here drawing mount, or here or structural works in mount. Only in there are consultations. I hear now the man. Only in the about side on periodical basis. Okay, it be a week, it be a dimension of the man, and after be a or baby now one name or side. Now I'm going to make you a band of paperwork and I say a band of drawings interpretation now. Because so we die with your mama may labor, they be mistakes, they be issues or dying. We should consider professionals in our building, and if we will continue having such issues. After I say every year be a dying buffer. Every year be a dying buffer. Oh Ghana, so we have to see a way of handling our project.
Okay. All right, Ike Asante, engineer. You better see ye pa from ECAP Construction and Deco. You better see ye pa. Because a running story, we need to come back to you when details of the structure in itself, the positioning and why it was left around that time. And then we still allow people to go there to have a function there. You for long. You say, I know whichever way it is, like you say, you need to structure not default on which we just see who said we don't even know yet. We're seeing people going there and they rent you to do church and then to do school. We'll come back to these matters and then we'll look at it. Yeah, that's the pass on here. Didn't come on. Okay, Yike Asante engineer, and you know, Edin Communal Construction or an office or that ECAP Construction and Deco ano and you know 80 and common 26 minutes into 8 a.m. Your Kosowa Hana, but Mienko na Fienko Accra New Town to be specific, where a incident na Fino Yene a Kechi Kwabana Bedu ending common live from the scene na fe only ending common from Enra a basis the same no kase what has really transpired the Pana Kosowa Honum then a month for so air count. What are the eyewitnesses also saying and everything and common says okay Chotemenka, I am sure sir you've had enough rounds to do to speak to people and all that boy and common what are they saying structure no baby a situation they want to saying
I'm asking for medase majo so na no kwase me say me de mani krochia we see am ehune santemo me ne me camera guy ya ba be piem wa ha ma me di kan twamfo ne nkyeretiefo ye nyina yenim se asam ni sie nra anwumre be se no num bremu ekọ na Kessben so yama enkrofo ahu ne akoso fitia nra na ebesi sabre obi a woni nkran so person oba ba bi asem si New Town ha ba bi asam no si potin no eye ayawaso central municipality na fanesa wudru cap price ekwan bi da obenkum kwadwo so fa kwan no so straight ya be say 500 meters oba bedro bibi ya ka no senso so wonam cap price main road no na cap price road na e dey fro odo rice main road dey ba New Town so aka kra na bedu commercial bank no empotam ho ene wo na sabra make say ya baba bedru biai ho sa ohwe sane ade ne si tia na se die ye betimi akasa nipa dodo a enei wo mu nyina ade wo mani kwatwa se bebu nkam fa ha nra na so ate kra the four corners na early to the main area no asem ni si me the disaster zone no wo mo de barricade CBSC ho no mo a wo mo deny nkrofo from entering obia na obetimi awram agesa wo adwuma potin bi di na de atia ne se ensentrofo wa ha nadmo mpanifo wa ha asojafo mpanifo wa ha a wo nyina hwe se enema nyina betimi atoto din ambulance cars ya national service fire car ensusu sia me ba bedru ha no manya kwane nadmo director or ayawaso central heading komo ye frɛ no Ora Muhammad Awal me de peminisa opani efiti anura besi sabre asame te sempoten wadi atudwa se eyare ho sempa enipa dodo asesei ye betimi aka se na wo mo dan ni mu wo bra asemi siye no kwadwo omso om ye maako aduonu mienu 22 yeah establish here no sana nadmo director ayawa so municipal ha or the two many friend ura awa Muhammad now out of the 22 no enipa otumi eyi ho eye makumaku dum konon emu miensa ena na wahwere won kwa na emu dum konon no anase nipa makumaku aduonu miensa no na ememme wom eye du 914 emma na ewom eye du nwotwe sorry nwotwe 8 enti in total no 22 na mom nipa miensa efi mu no emma mienu bema baako sana nadmo director ayawa su municipal ora awa Muhammad omama so teye mibisa ne se edan ya na esi wei so na emanebo bi aba wo ho ekye se edan ne bedwuragu ote ne wantu ho anamo ana waso kwabna badu efi se me ba befa madwuma se nadmo director afene fanie no ana ekokọ afene fa no mini krata bia o mitebu so ana ekye se edan wei na ne tebe ya nyenti esese ye ho bibi enu nti on record no osina bibi sa ni table so kosi se sa atore nkyem yasi na mom de odi atudwa ne se wate te se na nkrofo ka se nkrofo school for ba school yi mu ana edan mu school osi on record so kam ya so ate se America kremu no de wo ma school for ni nyina ja edan mu ba esan se na wo ma hu se edan te bia ne nye ena brekro no aso no mu si school dan bi wo nti omo nyina ko sa dan foforo no wo sinim enti anya de a sa dan poti ebu de na school for ne ba aso se ya no kra na enya no kra no me toko so eni odansini bi a no wo ha no enu asemi si ya ni fie wa pa edi nkomo ye fra no Muhammad Salisu na se mo ka kire me se opanini kasa na enya no kra mo de ha no mote na nkra ne ba school e wo dan nim enti we are here to establish the truth say no kra se na nkwada ba school mu e ba dan wo ba school wo dan nim ana se the nadmo director can say basis abrede no mo ma school wom ne mo no mo yi wo ko dan foforo mu say ebre mo wie edan no mo siesie ni wie mo yi wo ma ba mu a ye pese hu no kure wom Kojo ni assembly tie nyina ne sesesi aye ka say de ahadwo ne mo caterpillar si edan na ebugu ye no sesesi a egusu a ye adwuma wo so kakra nadmo director sama maso te say ne mo mo agidie say basis abrede obi anhye eye rabo na se ne say aprosi for do mo nkraman ba ha e be hwe se enipa da so wo mu ana nipa na sa enu ti nkraman ba hwiahwia ya na nkraman hwiahwia na so mo ampa na kire se onipa bi anhya ase na bra nkraman na ampo bre bi mu no be hu se ne na onipa bi anhya ase bi o wo mo hya ase na wo mayi wo mafiri mu no emu miensa na ahwere won kwa emu dunkro de sabre wo wayaresa bi a wo jare hwe eti nkoma opani Muhammad awa ema maso teye odansini nso amene di nkomo Muhammad Salisu kire se asemi si ye ndie na owa ha ono de hu de course wo nyina oboka ho no mo ye adwuma no na tebia no edan tebia ne wo mu na enye kra sabre bambo ni mu ayere wa ha menyini se obi betimi aba se unyi kwan ana uni bibi aba be wo ha obetimi aba aprosifo obo adwuma asojafo metimi akan won dodo kra be se aduasan ko aduanan wo mu nyina da so ne nam ho a wo mo hwese ne nyina betimi akoyie a police fo nso so e wa ha nadmufo fire service for ambulance ka ibisi hanom a eno so hwese se bibi fufuro bi a yenhwe kwan si akira ene ebetimi ahwa boban enti Kojo ubisa me ade ni bepiem wa ha no de tebia na kwakosi no ya establish say nipa duonu mienu se ne nadmo director mama so teye no wo na ne wo edan ni mu emu donkro de wo ya live what ya si onyankopon adom emu miensa wa hwere won kwa emma na ewom eye dunan emma na ewom eye nwotwe ehon komo ena Kojo etwagu no sasem bi wo ha Kojo bisa.
Okay, so catch him. Maybe same way. Sisia na mentioned. I don't know whether a structure na is see home that 3-story building. No, there was the name of a contractor, and I said signboard BC home a tre a structure no a home commodity because just as we know no. We are hearing say it's been there for almost 7 or 17 years unattended to. What was the problem? What beside the entire building no structure ni see home no more. Na obi amfa ne sankan for that long time and I say na DM painting na massa building no obi antumi antoa so and I said yeah
Kojo me da se bibusa nadmo director ya Muhammad Awal say edan esi wo bretenten ben osisudua se bese mfinsia du 14 years ni a edan yesi ho and omuja no it was left unattended to Achapa keka ko be se mfie du na mom no sane o ka no wose edu baabi no na dan te bia no amanfo keka ho nsem se enye nti omo ma kwan menkrofo be assessment wo hu sampa edan no ne te bia wom ne nye eno ka ho ntina omo de kokobo man se mo obi anko dan ni mu a omo si kwan se ma school fo no nkodam na mom asorefo no enso so na sa kokobo yi bo ho no mo a na ense se omo kodan ni mu no omo nim de nti a asorefo no de se no ma ye ni bia na so a no omo kodan me sanse na kokobo no ma di ka to dada eno ntina na omo ma school fo no enkodan ni mu we ni kwama owura Muhammad awa e mama so teye.
So clearly Obibeka say stubbornness and say yenti asem nti na ma yankasa Ghana fo ya bibifo ya yesi ekwa ye mu asori esan say structure nankasa mu no ehun e wo problem there but maybe so na structure no problem for 14 years in you know they couldn't pull it down omo ntimi pulling it down omo ntimi amfa sebi somebody be ambo ho say mo bia enkohye nanso no ye hwe ni han ma asori etumi ko hokoya asori wo ho
eno ni asem no atia bisa kwadwo eni agro no we na da bia ya ye ka ho asem no we kire se twi kasa ye frɛ no eni bia naso ekom se kokobo sani owura Muhammad awa mama so te ye ne komu ana wo ma nwuni dan na ngu a mibisa owura awa se nti sese no enka me to question ya mane se on point in sanche me nipa ben ena o se abone so bo owura mu aka kire me se no kwase me ye ne se ontimi mfa so bo ma obi a nienti ete sa ne se ono ankasa oba betra adwa so ne office wo no krata poti bia na nanimu e kire se dan no na enye nemom de ya tetie ni nyina ye atesem a kire sa manfo kanka huhu se dan ne nya papa eho a ne mpanifo de omani abehwe ene so me de kokobo ne maaye enti kwadwo obisa ya ni bia na so se na kokobo na kose ma obi anko dan mu nkoya activity bia enti na nam so mu yi school fo ni free dan mu ne de a na se no kresa ampani ampa America krem na school fo ne nko school e wo dan mu nemom wo mo new building bia na wo mu si wo ho de a ene ya ba ne se na sorofo ne ko dan mu na che se obi ana ya ni bia na so enti a e ma sa wo hawo yesie we asem kese pa nei ededa manfo no amanfo ka na ekame ese Ghana no da bia ya na yekasa asem ya na manfo de ya man yosem we nya man yosem asem ye nya proactive da bia se ne ye kan de twem o hawo ni si ansa make say e betimi abase ye wadan wodo bebre e won krampupu ni mantam ha o hawo we betimi asi wo ho na so wan na be ya dwuma na bresemu wan na se ne ehye ne nsa wan na se de se otu anamon ko hwe adan wodo anyina na oya particular survey be me yehu se sa de we ensi bio afia mu bebre asisi anopani abobo so anakwadwo wo ka ho asem eti why na anya na dwuma yie that is the big question we are asking today eyara ho sampa enipa makoma bi yensa wa hwere won kwa onipa wu a untumi mfa ne mankwan bio life is lost just like that enra no poso de ye no onim so obewu ba obi ani bia naso nti nipa nato this is what we are talking about eyara ho sampa sabredi we can confirm per de nabodaradan e kan ne se obi anhya dan na se bio rabo no obi anhya se bio nkrama na behwiehwia wo ma so mu yi wo ma yi wo nipa me ensa to e ma mienu be ma baako akwada na nkwada wase minus nemum ye nim se ene ye te ye se minus obi ani ho a ohwere ne nkwa kwada ketu obi ani ho a ono free mu bie wo mu nyina da so te ase a wo gya yarehwe etukwadwo ye wa ha it's a nice so wo ni behwe te bia na areho edan bebre atwetwa ho achia mibisa na director ne se adan awodo atwa ho achia no so no how can we be setting say sa adan we so wa hoden okachem so eno de problem bia ni ho whether or not assessment akohum anaye nkom no yenim ye wakachem ya ne se asem bia ni ho enti eyara wosempa
okay
eyara wosempa landa so sidane so eya adwuma
okay all right catch Mempo table video, but I just want to find out from you again from the NAD moments only needing come off and one. The issue of logistics and I say disaster be say here one can dey the eco solve problem no. At the same me who construction them and there but who do on the to say
Kojo yes empani se ofiachi ni abofo no sa na ya yetaka ofiachi ni abofo no etika sese mpo de machines ahodo de be ya adwuma no se oba na wo the same machines as it used to be and run adwona enka enhyada anya problem isan se ye betima aka se dum pempenso bi asese no adwuma no obesi adwuma na si nipa na so yi won me ba ye caterpillar si rabo ne so a eguso yi adwuma no mehu be se mienu a yeda so si so Kojo me ba mehu ambulance car baako ne me mani tua no fire service car me ba me hu mienu me nyini se wenum nko ane akade a wode ye adwuma wa ha enura nyina bia movie call na so enura de yete ye ne se lack of logistics bomochichi afinsu ase beka kiro so danche mawu a ye nyina chinyi de enti amibu sa abayi ne se enura onmonyamfo Haruna Idusu e ka side to just say we are helpless as a country. As at that time, no, na ye wa mani hunum logistics wise, near man else and penny for the adjumano. Sena e ho akwa atwe, ye ne ehia no, na ye nsanka ni nyina. Said American basis abredi e how no so ate kakra, enti e betima ka say e bia logistic wise no. Any man be a set me movie free, I say movie free. But se see me who ambulance, me who caterpillar 2 I see dinosaur rabo no so eguso a adwuma, me who fire service car, afei articulator cars ahodo a e be se sanete no ne ade. Nemom no sani onumunyamfo Haruna Idusu di tu bia nra ne de logistic wise wutimi se nra no na ye lake kakra akaye kakra se o man bambo de Kojo. Let me commend bambo adwumayefo no omabo adwuma papa mini bi mudi nkomo no fiti ahomache no anadwo asemi si ye oda so gina ha wonkoye asojafo ejina onan kroma so 24/7 o wa hakora na yeso ntire na ye adwuma na akoma toyem sanse bambo mu nsem de kama medical se medimani famu obeburu be se aduasa kwaduanan soja fo mpanifo wa ha a police fo mpanifo so wa ha fire service fo so mo kɔ be ni nadmofo yi wo hyehye wontade ya Kojo wo kɔ basa bambo adwumakuo no kwasa ne sesa kade a wode be adwuma no wo hode a Kojo, we cannot underestimate their strength when it comes to disaster control asembisia se ne be ya won be adwuma boa no omo ho keka ne wo soro pa Enuti ya waha wam so e waha ya nyina ya waha ya tu afra.
Okay, all right. Men Kobebia, we're going to come back to you again and send a pon e besan back. But I'll be happy if you commit maybe sir omo around no area for na to let us know who the contractor was. And I face a dear pint no motete ya say building no mano and twaso, and then we'll drink deep and look into the district assembly session say whether indeed na contract with Domendi Moye CISA building and that building the crown. What was the purpose? Ni na no you better back now if you ever be doing come in no time. You know, just do this one for us. Na enche you better samba na you doing come. Why?
That is going to be done. That is going to be done. But just a quick one before you go, no. Yi mene awa Muhammad edim kom mesabusa ne se besi sabre no. Obesi su dua kire say aha no o ma declare no disaster zone and emergency zone. O kan say sanete the school for a best school ha nyina no besi sabre de nya de obema kwan mo bia ba. Kosi se mebusa ne se kosi breben. Wo se obema kwan wo bra ene ma toto din ti besi sabre pa de nyade a obema kwan ma obia aba we declare ha an emergency zone a school for entimi ma school ha kosi abiribi mu se ene ma nyina be kofom asemisa na opa hu mu aye ne so no meye hu adwuma contractor na na so ye adwuma we site engineer obia ne hu bom mu bia no we will try and figure it out na ye hu ba bia sunsu ande bro ne hu be fa in the meantime in between time no ye beda se ye wa ha ye de ni di akire.
Okay, Ketche Medasis, just stay tuned for us. You better back now. You need Ketche Eddie and Komo from Accra New Town to be specific, where storyboard they know Ebubu, and we're gonna go back again and then pick some more details. But you know, it's we can easily then confirm that 3 dead, 20 hospitalized, just as we know from the Interior Minister and and then again Osaka Church so say for now the bia ni ho bia church say nipa kra ehye Nigeria and say what it means is that they've been able to take everybody out but And it was very interesting. My memoir start tape on it, then let me come back to Urasi. For didn't come out for some kind of idea, but I really want to take his view on some of these, general matters that really, affect the society. Now, the Minister of Education, Ura Haruna Idrisu, yesterday was there. Thankfully, he was able to get through. And Ura Henry Kote, who was even the former MP for that area, and then former Interior Minister as well, but it's interesting. Ora Haruna Idrisu Ekasim, which is very critical. Mumeyen share on Kessben TV, now visu yentie on 92.9 FM, and then on Facebook, Kessben TV, and then Kessben 92.9. Now for Yemra back in Mbedin Komosis here.
Is that some 45 worshippers were in this uncompleted building, as they have always been, for purpose of worship. Today is Sunday, and today is Palm Sunday. But maybe arising out of the rains or other factors unknown to all of us, the building caved in, the 4-story, and currently there's rescue operations going on. The Ghana Police Service is heavily represented here with the Ghana Fire Service and NADMO. But we are helpless at some point because of the inadequacies of the capacity of our rescue operations. In terms of what is required, we just need a stronger vehicle which can lift the walls, the heavy concrete there. You can see the hand of a woman who even asked for water to drink a while ago. We pray that they are able to make it and survive. We just need to build their confidence to stay confidently whilst the rescue operations operate. So this is not a time for interview. Let's concentrate on what to do to save lives. Thank you.
So we just have been speaking to.
Okay, so this is the Minister for Education, Ora Haruna Idrisu. Wonderfully, or call Honum to really get to the scene to see it himself. And but one of the things I say, Kakra has to do with the lack of Yankasa logistics and equipment here. They a disaster jumano so that tells you that the country in itself, we have serious challenges and serious problems. Porting a fire tanker, fuel tanker beer, a share say a honum, and also we had issues with a fire service with their fire tenders. We were told to say the war a kaswa krano and juma. And the banks are enclave juma. We have to go to a Winiba to bring what is there. Seko heya eja eshe ewa hanum just about some few months ago, and also sono fire tenders si seko heya na yina yetwemo yinim obrasport hono yinim se esi hono apparently na enye juma. It took eye de esese fi Accra o kan shima kwala ho de no and na efi ho all the way eba seko ebedum eja no. Clearly it tells you say your problem when it comes to emergency situations and how we can fight it. Yeah, the nadmo sa ababaye mattress in aduane mattresses I don't know what is really happening, how we can really redevelop and reshape a system to see us position well when it comes to some of these disasters. Again, mind you, insurance started to talk. And indeed, insurance started to turn. We're still going to have issues with amount for den can we den asem ABC because insure say to den pa e den sem bebre na and but if it's not flat, then it means that amount for dying eba bejuri. It means that amount for dying eba insure eba be fat and na baby and sasini na woni na so no. We look at all these matters and then say we are body we are fine. There's a Wolome song that they play and I always love it. They say Jansanum Nekru would die, that show die, Bebugu Unipano so. Sa song, you open the track okay, but it speaks a lot about some of these things that we are not doing. We are body we are fine, we're okay. But in so to an disaster bar, now where we lack any Nyema Ekosuno. It is not easy and it is not exciting when it comes to Aye and BC. We need to see subsequent governments and everything. This is a big social government or state issue. We need to start seeing ourselves deal with. 48 minutes into Aye 8. Aye Mia Minia Bema, Aye Ora Prince Opususefa, who is the former CEO Emma Aya Gefe, can have former Deputy Director General Operations Emma Aya NCA Ofiahanum. You didn't come on. I want to touch on few things that is really bothering the SIM card registration. You didn't come on for us to also get to understand how and Nema ABC Ako, and then issues that have really come up on what was done before they came into. Before we came to this situation, as you see, some re-registration, we say registration, no, they never do and come and never rest. I'm watching more about Kessben, so it's unfortunate that we'll have to start with this one because again, national issue, so we need to really pick our minds and all that. You're engineer Eddie and Komo Afa home, and you're a reporter so on the ground Eddie and Komo clearly. The thing doesn't look good. So if for 14 years a structure was unattended to because we think there's a default with it, and for 14 solid years it is sitting in the premises of a whole school Nasa building industry. So even if I'm in Nekrana 14 solid years according to what they are telling us on grounds, it could have still brought any disaster anyway, one way or the other. But as to the level is what we're also looking for and all that. Make sure send you may now take us same way to date. Make sure so wait here update, wait here Haruna Idrisu on these matters. Your take on some of these social issues that really happens to us.
Kojo,
yes, sir.
Me watching. What here for our chef when me che be I hope say.
On your mic in here. Okay. That's fine. Good.
And so I hope say obi a ho ye of course ye nyina ye ma omo asamato omo yako. Nti asefem nti sene okan em senra ewie anwumre hoba bi na me hu say sa story we koso em say sa na my tragedies na say say yados. And I'm telling you, I'm not from the standpoint of say disaster accident it may happen. But we share infonina by na we share a dying, we share pillars B. Now we share as almost see a structure be a straw a dynamics a bed 2 or so story building, 3-story building. Into mfimfini hono eda ho omunsi bibia ena esro no utimusi esi bibi e wosro. I don't know how heavy I so ahuni ametre because mfimfini hono eda ho plane, so you can only imagine. Omo ye building technicians ne building engineers betimi achechemu, but just looking at it do a new shake which means some way because the straw is so heavy and then finfini daho and I see. And so I just said the whole thing was very concerning just from so we do a near day and now you know so war or my see a war municipal authority
assemblies
local omo call rounds near. And as far as I can also remember, I stand to be corrected, but I know that Ghana's Standards Authority, so no omo buildings near there. I remember say during Nanado's time, and omo launch the first building code. So I don't remember the year, but in Che Biasa, ani nyina didi hu komo ka say take Ghana so long and suddenly building code. So I would expect it so omo adwuma no I don't think they were dedicated authority beyond Standards Authority, almost buildings, elevators, all those things. So, sa niyama bi sa si Ghana ha, unfortunately no nyana yede fama nyamesem ne sa niyama ne yede bata ho na obi afa ne ho adi. O ya hadwen because ye nyina ye tikrom ha nim say wo hwe sade happen. I bet me happen to anyone. A bet me happen anywhere e Ghana ha very easily. And rather unfortunate because you can see the system no nya adwuma ye. So look at how long I make us taking just to get a building code. My building I see nyina just a code be any home. And I've been to some maybe why it me invite you to sorry. Now I call me kai places be a makop me mobody. I will share buildings here. We dream when we dream home any question be on say Charlie as a building is then also some structure be near ye. If you are not say sorry near the Ghana Bia has to be very worried about this issue. Every Ghanaian. Utiminka say will happen or New Town, Tino, Ebia or East Legon, the away okay. One day you be caught baby, you be invited and I be sir, and everything happen to anybody. So we have to make sure say you be get it to the bottom of this. So it's a nema way no ye take ye agro away ye nisu too much ha. Honestly, agro way ye nisu as Ghanaians and ye will say timi a apple ye expectations of authorities. So some years ago, I think about 10 years ago, ube kaya central region, hobabi inquiry classroom ebugu almost so okay ani yenyina edi hu abobo ye say abaya mom sky mo dru omom 10,000 bills a day okay me ba ne cemetery ni nyina achi nyina hwe ne happen wa nti what were the local authorities ne ye I don't believe say with me dia she nipa na e wo ho nko no I don't believe that ye mra no me nye sure say ye adwuma yie because I'm running a juma year. I don't believe in Susa sorry way. Nanu ya na no mo ya sorrow. Exactly. It looks to me so mo ya sorrow a long time. And I will share how I see BB or top na. Me sure some say omo na tete ho no mo ye. And I don't blame the individuals because no kremuni no. Kojo say o hwe dan a sometimes o ko dan mu a wo betimi de nye da bia mpo na wo betimi de wani ehun say ade ne structural integrity ni okay ana nye okay. We dia so timi de wani hu kakra but enye da bia na obetimi de wani hu be say 15 years ago me draw paper bi ese yenhwe na yenye mra bi na a suggestion me ye to me party penifo ankosi agade but I remember say me draw paper na me draw and say yenhwe na abandoned buildings e wo kromu ha no yenhwe ni ye ni yenhwe say ye betimi de mra bia ba ni ya ye hu bibia what I suggested even though nye me area but it was idea min kai adekon triggers idea no but I thought say building bi esi hono mo a wo hwe one building bi e wo airport city silver star okay I chepa me wa me shows jam so one sakra na ye wo ye because me hu ya chepa another one so Kumasi TUC area I know so chepa and then ye nyina enim ne wo labadi so tentente meboa some of these buildings you know labadi dey say I see there was some technical problem you know mom stop here but it asusi ho ye ne den I suggested say a den be abandoned after a number of years abayenhwe na say ye beje anti abaneji e bia Western housing omo gisa building na ade enye structural problems bi ne na omo siewie na omo adidie for no akamu to some agreement bi a win-win for both the people and omo di nipa kro na e bia we free mu anasisi se oni ska bi oni ade na ono ati by na kwa agreement eti asemisa says kan nyina na omo say no iska meboa and I dine on so esi ho no not only say we obi akotremu na akofa asama but sometimes no akra betimi ebu ayeden egu the next thing no so be kwa create new problem obi a bi otene baby o twam wo ho ana ne dan si e dan we nchen obehu na adwiri na ba begu na no so cause another disaster so we need to keep thinking of new ideas and no na more mine ko nanim so agro no too much ni aye fanfare and the amount for go airport near reparations first can be amre with all due respect and no kwa ni ani ji hu okromu ha so adwuma na e wo se ye no make ni amede betwa to no say I know in the public services because my adwuma of public service and I'm a track it near cost of public service far because of me adwuma na me political ayi me ye kakra nipa be brave public service ni mu a omo sorry kra na adwuma omo be omo nim yafa omo politics ni ade redundant. Meanwhile, no so no hwe edan ya egu krom ha ye nyina enim say enye dan we nko an etisa meboa. We all know say problem we big pa and it's only a matter of time. Seni ankwara na edan bugu omo a eku omo a ya hwe ni ye anye ho hwe no. Enene we nso aye den happen. Ye nyina enim say it's only a matter of time na san happen bi o say ya share sapomu nso ni ya change the way I did enema di agora. Say a standards authority and a was so omo enya nipa wo honoma instead see e befa nipa no my productive no yes sorry na yes sorting crofo all over the place nipa no kwa adwuma mu a I know places a omo gu ho me modin I know say omo ye redundant omo ni adwuma bia ye meanwhile hwe na ekoso wo buildings I was thinka ya yemra I den bia ye inspect it to send omo ye no wabrochire ubekọ den bia wabrochire elevator ayibo ho certificate omo what time engineers papa bi ahwe omo besan ba ni nyina nso kura san create job but ye nhwe ne enya adwuma ni yie agro nko a ne afa nipa gum ye payroll yi last year yes 17 billion ne ye bobosia ne yatua. Since then, Yasai increased payroll budget $14 billion. Jubilee House, your friend is saying salary. Nanado, omuye dede wo ho, press conference wo ho. 327 billion cedis. Ukuja tonum ne other people ye ho dede. Since aban we buy, ya increase Jubilee House payroll to 2.7 billion cedis. 8 times. And no, any yes, she's going. Nipa na was so mukoye building inspection no mu nyina hwe so ko dan bi mu a ubenya confidence say ban hwe wo so no. Eniema ehu hia ne ye no ne ye. Ye te ho ne ye she's go Jubilee House. E see ye lean government.
All right. But I say Ora Prince Ofosu Sifa and I no Edin corner. In any case, we have to delve deep into the same registration no issues to no nafi yemfa and twas or nafi zigestic so ever twas. So we're going to go back again to yenia Ketri Kwabrabedu ewo honum nafi will pick much details honum. So what's up in no text message in Apachofanina bra making kind na so ama. So let's shift focus on to the same registration and then what is ahead of us and all that. Right, but yeah didn't come up and we still will want to find out what other aspects we think say answer that enquiry when it comes to registration or just as we know it was started when you were in operation at least now when so you saw the genesis of this SIM registration and all that. We've seen the deficiencies that truly was on board around that time and all. It look as if can't SIM registration and we find it's more or less not giving us enough updates and reason to believe that what is really happening with the SIM registration should not be happening. Anna?
Kojo.
Yeah.
SIM registration, they won't say, quite a few stations. Church and near my baby at this point. Inti enfane say CCA no make SIM registration was a me born tougher more.
Yeah.
Because ya can be educating for. I don't think say time and ekoso no ni update enough. I think during the time no na education room I'm my update me kai say honorable minister who press your friend is saying press events Ministry of Information a couple of times. The update in there we share project na the top amuni say we share it from a technical standpoint. Omo ye omo ye betimi identify omo say CIA omo atimi aye omo sim registration a yɛhwehwɛ ɔmo kora yɛbɛtumi ahu ɔmo no at least be 80%. That's no cray. There is no technical I challenge anybody to let me know technically say by any reason at least 80% in bibia completely. It me a challenge. So I say we share project ni nyina because na stage 1 and stage 2. So I say stage 1 and so link it where you Ghana card to OSIM. And omo de code aba *402#. Sa code no betimi de check it a confirm. They when one say was ye shimukna. They make sure say no emfa say ubetimi akosa *402 no ya ye no say compulsory. So we check we are no approve it say ampa odia. Na che say eno no am ahye no mapa. So na bia ya sign the rules account says say no see e ba be sesa bibi wo semwa wo Ghana card no link to that sim no ye be frɛ ye be send you message no approve it ansa na ya den ya allow uwie nso a e wo so sign koye final confirmation say sim sa ni nyina say wo ho no sign odia ye hyehyɛ sa na ema ye which say NCA for no kra no yentimi emane nko na nimu fa mranka ho a yebetimi aye ni nyina. You don't need a new registration and why yesa na ema nyina. Enti omo de akakakra bi no despite all the politics say woman yes obi ni obi anya ntokwa and all these things ni nyina nkosi aga. No kra no na make sure ne tofa na me ba amount. Enti sa 20% aka omo kakra bi omo ye first stage 100% successful. Second stage na make us omo be 20% almost say omo picture omo take here no and to me and verify with NIA. Once be consult omo no maye unhia so be border obia but abina decided so omo na power no omo nsem nti omo aka but ye project ba kono de yenim so we hwe ne technically 90% successful. That's the technical truth. It is a 90% successful. I mean, who ye? Obi 90%. Uko school. Cry the highest grade, you know. From 90%. Mebwa A+. There's no higher grade than that. Bentino. So almost on besa ebio because 100%. Abina ye ya kanye dia no kre woman no it's at least 90% successful. So maybe why almost but we don't believe say prudent say was some yenesa. Now some which as I said abina no decision. Ekawum say omo ye kakrana kana the calculation is a cost to about 40 million cedis. But one more year no for the whole thing it cost to about 200 million. But again, a binding decision. They are making so many decisions. Ayeti krumha, whether almost baby almost you go to koye, or whether almost cocoa for omotua cocoa for insu sister like in tria, or matu almost nina binding decision. They will continue to make the decision. And the end what the other side, so you better point it out where you feel say omo to sing because you're no. And then Ghana for a bit decided. Say abino ni omo pa na so mumpe. That decision the bejamo. But with respect to SIM card, me de manu see or SIM card no. Honorable Paransa, so who is a former communications minister. He's an electrical engineer. Me senior no ntimi no pa me ne ko school. Na wabinye. And I can tell you so true article B which I thought was very very instructive. And he referred to Act 910. And Act 910 how a movie to a situation of BBT say pre-registered SIM Yusubio and all that. Sa Act kahon the year the SIM re-registration, which I said says about 90% successful. Ono a point say SIM registration they do mpempen so bia in here say ye beko so ekusi ahin sortias. And I can tell you say based on the minimum no MPP government will do another SIM re-registration. In fact MPP government also anke bio and we believe strongly say we didn't need to do it. But what we need to do, they say, you will see a movie to an enforcement regime. Ubetimi register na ye hu picture ne ade. At the end of the day, no. If, for example, ubitimi twebi gumwa, no we boomra ne so a, na ye am find this system I betimi am ye hu omo di bi agum anytime bi a bi beba begum no ye behu. Na yen trackers are ana telcos no omo allow sade no yen find them very strongly no man who say so omo crofo no bu emra so a fine mu be she seriously ubetimi I register ube wie no na obi ebu mra so na ye di agro in that same act no say no we fine a woman so it talks about some points be a week edun pempenso bi anka wosinke bifu upsa law no so we telco a unim say e was so internal processes no e very strong such that say violation ba ko ba na NCA so mu a fine e de be ma no wa kra no nye obi na be kiro say was so ma wani break na mu de mra no ye bayi and registration you be register if nkofo de niam ni di agra bibi to say education and susu hia pa say there's some swapping one year careful be credit to me a year social engineering ni ade no wa send you message be adada no wa press code be no wa take you over o sim no so o take you over no the koko ye fraud activities wo na ye nyo na ye nso wa boa na ma na ye. And that one no same registration betimi stop sade no because onipa na mu no na oni nimdiye no I was we careful send e be ya obi ntimi take over ne identity card, yeah. But ultimately yeah. So we need to move a hone was think aban any ko especially say yeah the last registration it will be onim sa industry way enim say that one was overdue. Okay. Because the previous one that was done in 2012 baby no that time na ID system ni na ABC basa nti akosiaga we ended up registering the same people and everything bibi to say pre-registered sim obi o ho an wa ye sim no na odi ama obi e wo say no say ni e beef up e ma manfo hu say so oh yes ade na sasem ko ba ho eni so ye but the one hwe ni ye na wo be tied to you na koye na ho asem ba wa mu no kra no fine na ye de be ma on so when I mentioned sani man na wo see a beef no up. Okay. We need to move beyond same registration a car any adaje any man na ye no so I say we need to move beyond it. And if at the end of the day you link your day to Ghana card which is already very powerful card MPP yeah. By this time no ke wo say ho enforcement so any agencies almost hwe niam so it is any na ka building permits ne ade do stage bia a enforcement issue because onipa no ya ka kire ne say dan we no yenko so omoko what happened that whole time who is watching who goes around inspect ya fa nipa ye ti ha ye nya nipa omo djuma kra nipa nya bi nya meanwhile say djuma nyina agu ho I was here but ultimately enti no ye do pempenso bia wo se ye timi ko ye nim enye se da bia na ye ko ye chi in this same situation abind the yakko ye chi keke. Okay. And near my was also focusing on which is the enforcement and making sure say laws no ya shim kina so when I make na e ko ye nim. Okay. Na omo be ye near man so no say obi e bibia a lot of times no obi credit to me use sembia and sana obenya police for ama o makọ track ade no meanwhile no so e bia records nyina ye den e wo ho eno nkwa ya asem. But so the same issue is an enforcement issue, not a re-registration issue. Okay,
all right. But I say, there was this question that I think last week or last 2 weeks, Nana Fimponziga was questioning, asking where the then former minister Esla, where the issue of I said we need further and better particulars, but we are not finding where she is. So no, so or Abrochi or so. So we need Chrome House. So if I stand to be corrected anyway, I don't know where is she.
Me pacho me nim baby o.
Okay.
Nancy me obi catcher me no chibi or something. Oh no.
Okay.
Or phone be so.
Okay.
But no crepa de me kasa me nim baby o potia. But as far as I know, me nti so obi say why baby. Nti and this whole year of we were ha, we ni ha. You know, even this idea said to say it was say ministers and no more answer question. It's neither here or there. Oh, question ebisa no. So bet me I throw in from them. Oh, bet me I throw social media. Oh, bet me I throw no. Oh, bet me account on air. Obey answer. Nti whether or ha we fear we too quiet. I don't think say no was say ye bothered. Not too long ago. A buy for a buy. People were busy saying say oral bechi obia. Na in Crawford cry was say a Joe passport. That kind of Gestapo kind of politics no. I was see a because at the end of the day, if case whether it's against Ken of Rata or you go to court. But your ultimacy go court. Na court na who say nipa na ye bibia. Court no ebeka nye politicians and ebe train about oral. Any how much omo edwa omo num so omo chichi nkrofo ye be chi obia kodam ni ade na hwe ne aye hu with the big push adani big loot.
Okay.
Meboa. Isn't it happening? Overinflation. Ye hu ewo ha. Gold aye koton President Kufuor ye so ton gold, non ton gold bia. Omo ton real gold no. Omo na se omo bu oman so. Ama Ghana lose over $1 billion.
Okay.
In potential revenues. Ye ntimi kra hu so omo ton my asamaye. So omo ton my nipa o. Se Ghana fo bi na ato. Se nkrofo bi na akoy omo se omo ma yen hwehwe mu kra.
Okay.
To omo nya majority. As long as majority we wo ho no. Ye gold na ye ton ye no. Which to me is the biggest scandal in the history of Ghana. Over $1 billion potentially are Ghana ahwe.
Okay.
Omo so omo mi hwehwe mu. Enti no these are the people omo bi sase we wo he, we ni he na omo ka. Omo no sankrofo ye o. Ena omo lead the almost from Oral Crusaders. The Oral Crusaders have now turned the big push to the big loot.
Okay. Rasifa, you better say, and then come on, and just as you said, you know, you share how this registration will go, and then if indeed, or suggestion a year, and the man kind of should have been the right way, but just as you said, abandon Abasun or say, or say, Mubekebia, but let's see how this one will pan out. And if you know, you dear Beko, yada see pa, yada say, yeah, Mr. Principal,
Just 30 seconds here.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a Famatiwa. You are a very good communicator.
Oh, that's
but baby and no mekon. Ubi obeka che so trabuchi na abekwa je power enye ne kreda. Utimi trabuchi nkonye power. NPP ni bia ni wono mu adu kwa fudu no posre. Culture of silence. Professor Dubois here. JP Dankwah lectures and a culture of silence. One trouble 92 when NPP wanted to wrest power from NDC from Geraldis. Every single so bia no what is a crowd no more is some people fought to come to Ghana to battle your friends say NDC. Madame is Lahusu. And yet Ghana no wasana meka. Baso percent PP power. I should be in this country. I'm telling you. You can't sit in abroad. Now we issue statement. Do you love your party? Or just that exercise ne kakra. Do you love your party?
Kessben 92.9.
Party actual tell you. Party am the minister for 8 good years. 8 good years. Bibia, you have seen it all. You have sat our cabinet. Why a member of parliament? Party now, why a member of parliament? For 12 years. Why be the minister? You have seen it all the glitz and glamour. Everything. What to do call Bibia? Party now, bahu him. This is the time that they need you. What to call? Obi obeka to some amnu okromo be no credit. And it is so good. Jamaica what I say. One more menya she. One more menya kapre and you are benim and people are bemwa. And that's why omo be a Cadbury members. Boss, omo Brian Kasa. They did not get a peswa from the party. Yet they are here still combating and battling NDC. They are still defending the party. Say the overwhelming defeat the NPP, they have to find a way to party the defeat. They are still fighting. You are in this country. You have SIM card registration. People don't get it why we have to do this SIM card registration. National Identification Authority for say 2 million SIM cards and Maakye or more identity. Just 2 million. How many registrations did we do at that time? It is more than the 2 million.
30 million.
30 million. Then the only 2 million, they see about a new registration. And you men are not proposing that me explain about talk of fashion. Me Kojo ba me kan to bi asum che madam Eslausu because I am communication minister for 8 years. And can you come and sit on high profile programs? Then you will explain. Sam George can no abaya press conference. Party na boaw. Ghana hiam. Ablekuma fo hiam. Na untu kwa kwatra baby. Edia na usuadia. Oh, you see, if you do this sabi bread yasa. Emle bi me ko ka madam Jemfu asa. Me de kwame. Then he called Yempeni for catch me say, minim so yare ana. Am so anya active. Or ka na my MPP co-opposition. And it's the crack because we introduce e-levy. And conform na me jump for man who catch me say e-levy dey petit to musikedi. Then you don't see a women organizer. I'll bet me a kodum church robo. When I said this, the woman come, the offer her twice, offer Aguni, offer reception, offer Kumasi, and they called me say a woman is so I are person to make a son so mammy sorry. We need so yari. The American what I say. So yaria, I'm sorry. But when yaria one money broche by this time. Huh?
Rasifa.
When yaria one money pa I want broche by this time.
Okay.
You have to be in this country by now. But yeah, say, and conform the cosa, and say, what better how much no sorry you. If you were the traffic one, what better who? Upa more power and say, we need beam. These people will come back no matter to receive. Huh? I best have to receive your battle near that Pamo Mr. Sefano no Saba. I said, as a dear for only one people. What Daniel Quatrabeche, you will make suspicion automatically follow you that you so bad BBC.
Okay.
Miss Adam. All
right. So, over so comment on it.
But I think say be an individual situation. Well, Madam Esla Eteha, we know say Wakumbia so and she had instances I be crying on person the car crab bonkuno. So she's been through the battles. Will be a personal reasons in tia abia or baby or and our castle nimso chroma. I know the and for me, as I said, sometimes depending be or more they are just being quiet for one reason or the other. I buy chingy and they might be very happy here. Now that friend Pong any money be our cano. A friend holy anger. So I say tufo. No, I can't fault him for that. Say, but some of these people, they did this at almost risk of their lives. And you better, sir. So be to me, ya bonabasu. Ubi nye so I know interest say, yahongo. And I be so abeku edikain. say being so air twaso but ultimately so I think say it was nana aka me nyina chie say or kano e wo sebi adwenbone so minim so on kanesa and I wo kano for good clear but at the same time no priorities na was here ni because nipa na near mama edubu ahin risking in life opposing no sa nipa no so sa nipa no emmumu na was here bonus more. Who were the people who were the revolutionaries who were abusing power? I am edubu risking in life e hono e was say ye bomu echi more. Ye custom registration asem again as much as me respect me opinions no to me I was say focus no come more on the nipa na bi a omo nye omo asede no a wo ka say either Isla na anybody else should be opposing them the right way. But how about ye bebo aban na etiso no more echi more.
Okay.
But ultimately
yeah.
Entino say same no a registration no unjustified that. Okay. Mama ya adwin ko ho more.
All right.
Now as for individuals there, yemfa omo asem no enko form kakra because ebi di bia echi ukuma apema yeden ebeba.
Okay.
Ebi aba omo abeye omo de say ebi nsusu yempanifo omo ko retire, they have different issues. You can't get too much into individual but ebi kono ebi nso yeden ebi ba.
Okay.
And I think we just have to continue.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
It's true.
Right.
I do respect it, but you see,
quick one after.
No problem. You see, Membetiano, I'm sitting as a journalist.
Sure.
I will do investigations. I'll pull 1 or 2 documents and read. But who's saying it here? But some men are not from Poziga. Meti, Kessben. Now me catch them for say this SIM card neighbor. A baby will steal a time. Ah. I will be ending up downloading hatred for myself, but I will take the bullet. I don't care. Because I've been taking bullet for all the parties. Okay, PP asemwa. Yes, we NDC. You be did what them. Okay, DC asem. Yes, we NPP. You be did what them. I don't care. I work for Kessben. You understand? But people wouldn't take me serious than say, Madam Esleusutia. Mewa, you'll be able to pull document if I say that. Look, and I force it. 2 million SIM cards and Maakye. But can I see what else again can I see? But maybe as some George in a different thing. The reason why you don't need the 2 million.
Okay. All right.
So if you issue a statement or try to do on Facebook, it is not enough.
Okay.
What about you sitting our Kessben? What PCFM? What news file? What key point? Now you explain to people widely to people to understand. You see, all this thing I'm saying is Madam Esleusu. So want me be defended. Say adie we say let's go better abrochira you should not think that becoming the general secretary near yet no say your friend say Dr. Brewer I'm telling you so I'm be yes adie dia and no you see this is what you people have to think of. Say obi a wa mre no and I enjoy what NDC is doing now. The NDC doing now. Ne bra no obra ne dia wa be di awie. I do baby etene. I feel na bu here omo. Jabe karwata say. NDC people suffered for NDC.
All right. Okay.
They enjoy.
Okay.
So if say one year na dwene so obeba Ghana, ye to oba bi wa tere Ghana. Wo Ghana hada. Obi obeka cho so obi o ha bi o no we senior no cry. The woman is living in London. You understand?
Before MPP ba power no mo ye adwuma that time no onye minister. That
I didn't make us. I didn't what
that time no so no onye prominent any your friend is saying a major figure like today, but they worked. Entino and I make us say ebi kono ebi ba. I know where you are coming from, but I think say it's also not fair. Say ye be koswa koyechi. How about ye penifo a o mafiri mu eko? Entino MPP entimi continue because ye former leaders ni bi afiri mu. There be or ebi nso atukwan. There be owo no ye available a ye be use no. There is no question say baby a ono na no bedru no. So tia say
okay.
But ultimately, but and no interest oni ho a na che say ye ntimi nkoye ni. We will continue to work just like ononso ye adwuma pa adwumaden pa bi omo life nyina you take a risk. So it's not fair to say ene no oni ha na no kire say you know I think omo ye omo adwuma say no omo di a cheer for no and almost so yeah then that's how life continue.
All right. Right from that 29 minutes into a night Great Kingdom Medical Center say men can show say open hospital papa ako open hospital awokwa nurse for na doctor for no say bibia etumi ekoyi wo hono mu hu omo sese omo je fel so na eba ye hospital ho pa dia na ye Great Kingdom Medical Center and that's a Great Kingdom Hospital and it say wo se ne be ya wo ho ebetumi ato ye pa wo hia ye gynecologist na face no wo hia fertility service na general surgery and na face no me person ye plastic and reconstructive surgery including a BB on na face liposuction tummy tuck na e pa cho ani na a Great Kingdom Medical Center and say woko ENT ye no stroke services na no a hono me say woko eye clinic na face no ye no ye dental na x-ray aye ECG ni bibia no yenko a Great Kingdom Medical Hospital and as a center a honom and the sabe kan de se ene de fata e wo honom mo ekropon omo ben eye Kingdom Estate intino obetuma from 0593 72 2619 0593 722619 and after say 0530 848502 Great Kingdom Medical Hospital, quality healthcare with excellence. So, and I make a choice say Yom Herbal Lotion. As a man can share so what pain from stroke, rheumatism pains, and I feel sciatica pain, stomach cramps, inflammation of the body, and I feel nerve problems, you know, me pacho or stress, and I feel emotional strain, you know, and I feel no aye wo clear, aye wo cold pandia. Na ye Yom Herbal Lotion. Yom Herbal Lotion, some man can choice say drosun kokra. O pebi to na wo de twitwia, de hiana to de betwitwi. Or say fetwitwi na wo de twitwia. Bibia ebetimi akoyie Yom Herbal Lotion drosun kokra penetrate into widi enimu yi ankasa edonti no kopebi nato ubenya bi ewo pharmacy and afeso herbal shops to bia wonsa ebekabi Deus Generation Enterprise and drosun ko friend Yom Herbal Lotion no aba 0244 730295 0244 730295 and after 0302 945 146 0302 945 146 Yom Herbal Lotion or say life is possible and who enkomo any this is here mami wie min kom field no so mbra sisia paying for min kom mbra sisia ziga na feel no my understanding is that the vice president is visiting a honom nintino kache kwabna bedu ewo honom sto yentie no na fe yenhwe de kache so temen ka vice president ababedu no obedu no what is the situation now?
Kojo in just about 2 minutes ago the arrival of the vice president Her Excellency Professor Jane Anupukwajman, but ansano babedu and credit Kenya area briefing say obeba bedru ha na oba had ma itinerary ni nyina ne say oba be inspect baby a asem yi sie a yabo ho da rofiti enra nwumra bi sabre no na we inspect we a obeye media briefing on media and central for bi nkomo kakra na de ohobia wo de atodwa se na me di kan de todwa na obedu be sesima me yenu muani afekra na wesi afri ne ka mu a empanifo ene ne nam a wo mo ede wo mani ehwe ne ekoso enti ye wogidie mapase enche kra oye ne inspection ni wi a ensem bi ode betudwa no yesoso ya ye kra do se ye behwe na atwe bibia de aba ana se ye betimi asan fa ne live bi na afi de ode betudwa no so Ghana fo oni nyina ne se papa so pa nwoma so nyene no dani ye ntia ye nyina ye ni tua asem asie enti ye wo sempanifo so ede wo mani behwe na anamobia ye betu wo ho a saate bia we kwadwo de pene senka ebi nsi bio because reported ya to abonte nyina kire se wenya bredi kan a saade ye si wo man mu na ye nyini se we so be bre twato a asi atore nche mutimi si na so de efri nipa ho ma na aba no ya na eya de nipa betimi aye ho bibi na wanyema asie no na ne titire nipa hwere won kwa no ya na eya eti Her Excellency Prof Jane Anupukwajima bedru send me the candidate to no afei na obey inspection ewo be bia asem si ye no wo wi a wod na sem betudwa na eno so no ye hye omanfo bo se ye obeka bia no ye behwe na afi ya omanfo so aso ate ahanom aye butubutu pa ye nyina dim se the vice president of the republic nyedi paketoa enti bambo mu ayere pampe wo hwe se bibia bekoso kama obi so hunti obi hunka eni je semba ko a meka ne se ne ya tatie ne yehu no ene ensi ye ensentrofo ye adwuma no ye nya kwan ye adwuma freely o hwe bambo adwuma ko na they have been very friendly o my very friendly so mo de anoseto anakoko bi YouTube dwa kra no mo ye ne boko mpacho ahade ma enyina ha ahade mu nyina ha ahade fa ha obi ani ho a wotietu obi afa ho die so wa ha bibia ye kama ensentrofo ye nya kwan ye adwuma kama ntimi ye mo maba so ye hwe President Babetudja na ya mama for so aswate.
All right. Kachi mesa ababak biona fe ye din komo if the vice president start a din komo na fo nya ne briefing ni bia na fe hu ye betumi akafa. Basika mama mran chen na fe so meko Richard Honum na fe ye din komo fa ye the disaster no won't wait till the vice president comes in and then we'll deal with it. But of course, me assure say you have some few things you want to have your take on na fe about a building near Manazo.
Oh, yeah, let's take the building.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Before I make come issue, I'm on your form OT or MT. You see, power a transcendent to say the can. So only be now make I say maybe Chama Nana Sante Manwa Udika William, and yet we see the only Yinasian and Nana a Kubiampium. So I could be amping. Or called the crutch in 2016. The 2016 year and 1 week. The 1 week was held in October. Almost corner President Mahama. No a president. Good. Nana do down Kufuado. That time no contest. Now Kabe through my Samia Kotuaba. Kufuado went there as a candidate. But in February the following year, 2017, 5 months later, the same team went there for the final funeral rite. When they went there, Nana Akufo-Addo was a president and John Dramani Mahama was a former president. This is what I'll say. Build the issue by Mahu no mebia akoso hon no mebia matini videos bia ma chance on. Now I think that it is not healthy for our democracy. You see, but who say Ura Henry Kote, former MP. I was saying national security force on PFF free. Just my big you on PFF free. So a bois a politics. So a bois a person ye BB at the score points a politics. Say no crescent national security for piano free. And also your politics. So what I will say, and say, you need to me, I am very careful. And yet they no be your former MP. Now some seen in Peswaso and a former national security couple. Then the national security for Sakeno. I don't get it. I don't get it. Bia no senior to me no what the idea bia no kofobin pe. So when you're to me now, what the year sad you be do penny backer, that is power. Say when you're to me no one your beer be beer and one more sad you will say that is power. Because I don't get it say you'll be asked to leave the place. But how do I Jews will be given a razzle welcome to the place? I don't get it. We have to be very careful. Power enter who they be. Now, just 5 minutes. But I say we person me ye bia. Make I say Malcolm issue ne buy. Do mama ye ti ase ne say die di kan ye. Almost say Abrante bia no ye adwuma ho no saw a huge crack. Ewo Malcolm dying. And what this are more than the man or mumpenifon. Say, this is what I have seen. Was it because of that? Some of them left the place. They resigned. Komunim da adiedi bebu. Just by making you. I will Malcolm. Empanifo na mpantie ena ma ebi mu gyae adwuma no ekokotena fie because obu nim say baby ade no wo no ebetimi abuagu. People neglected the warnings. Then when engineers came, almost say ade no the construction and the materials no yede ade no so weak. You understand? Yegusu na yekosu na no mote task force aha na mayi ni wo mote task force was say a task force was established to audit other high rising buildings in Ghana to prevent similar occurrence. A task force, and that task force was part of NADMO, and that task force yantino purposely for that period. You said that task force and your strategy called the whole Ghana. That task force never here for. That task force where is it? Because yet here you say media mementi Newtown, but every video sana mention na me monitor life na anadwini na nipa ye mi interview mu be trese ade na ye week omo mutuo na ya we say e dan ye week. They said the keche beduka is school for me.
Yeah.
Ewo mu a yenim se ade na ye week. And ye school for the nefu. E ye den ya ma sorry for komu.
Vice President, I do. I'm so day and commosis here. I'm gonna fake my update and I feel rest here. Or come be doa na ye de atwaso am I rich. You were there yesterday evening. You know and an hour when you've been on live from here and ra. Okay, I say on my bintino. Young gonna fe ye ne Vice President. Come on ne media need di ewo aye honomono aye cranny to be a dani see a buyana na fe am back. Catch my update. Then echo. Catch us out to me we've seen the Vice President Wadu Honoma Odi and Komosi clearly on my Yemanu briefing on my update and the Konina my what is really happening at Wahosis here. Okay, so I'm on Temenka, but me Vice President on your short this year, me who say wedding commerce this year or call the Nimu and Kasa. So clearly in Saka a year, try the feedback nina ebeba. I'm sure say or namuno or kwako or kosino and kasankasa kwako share exactly what is really happening there. And you know you bedi hu enkomo ye. But Rich, yesterday you were there. Since yesterday you re then the day na to that time till almost about 10 now. You were still live. Facebook and Facebook Kessben 92.9 so.
But that's for this very opportunity. And then clearly, I would say that what has happened to us as a country, a disaster. That it's a fan say grow. It's a disaster because you can see say you have the Vice President herself at the scene. And Anka Vice President to not be there because the Education Minister has been there, the Interior Minister has been there, the MP has been there. Fast forward with regards to honorable record issue this year. I was there. I saw what happened. Even a video na show live no. I captured part and now some of the security officers because the police team were handling honorable reporting. I didn't hear exactly the now, but then again, Ikufu said there was some disagreement. Honorable reporting for once has been the MP for the area, not less than 3 times. Okay, why MP for 3 times in that area? And there's a BSC. I mean, he has the right to be there. Let's not forget, he intends to contest again. But what we saw yesterday, was more or less like, as a Zigakan, it was politics. The emergency response team on grounds, they were there to ensure say they rescue people. Okay, maybe do what I was hearing. They said the sitting MP MB do ye, na me who here, but I saw Nabu Henry Kote. So it was like, if I'm to read the meaning to what was happening now, they were preventing Henry Kote from getting the cameras first. I didn't see the sitting MP that's Honorable Rauf Tubazu. Me who on grounds so maybe do maybe he might be around, but might be standing somewhere different. So when Kote was there, directly at the scene, maybe a Rabos he was there. So he was trying to go close to the scene to see what exactly the emergency response team were doing. So these police officers, make us the low ranks officers, stopping him from going. Me crying at the point I was fighting one of the officers, sir. I was saying, sir, because I'm a media person, I wanted to know what is happening. That's why I'm here. So ministry, I have a bed I can sleep on it. So I'm not here to intrude on your friends and on your work. Then again, let's not forget, incident in this year, in emergency management, there were a lot of people there, and then we have volunteers helping. The officers, the emergency response makeup of the military, the ambulance, the fire service, and then the friends Ghana Police Service. They were all there to ensure that things were done right. The building there, it's right on the junction. Fortunately and unfortunately, say I'm back of the Newtown Road. Okay, maybe do around around 5 p.m. Maybe do around 6:30. So you can just imagine the number of people are now there. And that's what Shas here. More bread. So it's make us say they did well. The emergency team, that's the police, the fire service, the ambulance service, and then the military. They did well. Minimum small girl and fee Rabonase. There's a small girl less than 10 years. She wasn't a anything. But then again, how we handle emergency in this country is serious. Zika did mention about the MECOM. MECOM this year, sorry to say, is in the era of President Mahama. Okay, there and I say tax force to ensure high-rise building. Okay, you have passport office, the old passport office. Ashe, that's it's a high-rise building. That's what. Then again, there's this building, La Towers. There's a building on the Teshi Nungwa Highway. And a building you see, you stop it for almost 10 years. The building is still there. Are we waiting to experience another disaster before we can go and deal with that building? Okay, this disaster, the volunteers were there to help. But then again, we had an admin officer who came around. Listen to what he said. Now the professionals are here, so all of your volunteers should leave the ground. You were late to the event and the scene. You are not telling them say they should leave the scene and go because now the professionals are here. Where were you when you were saving lives? The admin officer now because asked him. He came now. Everybody should leave the scene. Now the professionals are here. We are here to work. You were not there when the team collapsed. It was the volunteers who were struggling to go under the rubble to save lives.
My main birthday in Embrace here now because we have to go back to a year Kessben nafi ya de kano etwaso ewo ho emamo. And then to happy birthday to Chairman Divide O2. I go home. Oh, Chamano. Happy birthday to you, Chamano. Happy birthday to you. Divide O2. Chamano Ankasa. Yeah, me Chairman. Happy birthday to MPP Greater Accra Regional Chairman. This one is from all your loved ones. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Marigold Amma Enchua of Seshi Akontombra SDA School. Happy birthday to you, Marigold. And then a happy birthday to Chief Inspector Richard JC. This one is from Seth. Happy birthday to you, Chief Inspector Richard JC. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Daniel Mensah. This one is from Obapa Julie. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Josephine Akosia Ejepoma. Mommy, this one is from Kwame Ejepon in Germany. Happy birthday to you. Josephine Akosia Ejepoma. You are called Mommy. This one is from Kwame Ejepon in Germany. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Brimpon Joseph Nana Abo. 1 year old. This one from your daddy, Nana Kwame Abo. Happy birthday to you. And it is 9:47 in the studios of Kessben 92.9 and Facebook Kessben TV. And then on DSTV channel 364 and then on Go TV channel 121 within Adam Samson for Kojo Preko Dankwah. So we're going to go back into the scene now for Keche Kwabnabedu Eddie and Komo. I'm not sure if he's ready to tell us exactly what the vice president came saying, and I face the interior minister, because I think we saw interior minister and then again we saw the vice president also moving. I don't think they spent almost about
no per the videos now when them say why inspection okay when you're briefing so per what I'm hearing they are going to the various hospitals. I think 37.
Okay. 37 first.
So they are going to 37 to check on those are surviving. You know.
The 20 or so, no?
The 20 or so, but on the record yesterday, what I saw, and said the pastor Nana Oyason on Uwe. And then again, one eyewitness, Indian commander was telling me, said there was this lady, when I say woman, on any map 4. So the woman, I saw the woman lying there flat. I mean, she's a bit, she was alive. And in Baba, but in mat 3, boys 3 account, and I'm saying there were 3 account, and me survive it. Per what the eyewitness told me, so I'm going to survive it. But then again, I think we need a serious overhaul in our emergency response system as a country. We need to check our emergency response. Say there are too many instructions. Kojo, there are too many instructions. Say you could see the fire service do their part. You could see the ambulance service, and then thank to God. See, this is not politics, Ziga. If not for the ambulance, already, it would have been difficult for us to save life, because it was more than 20 ambulances on standby within the Greater Accra region. Ambulance be active and breaking down. They were all present at the scene. Okay, because you found one ambulance and then they call, and then they were on time. Wait two. So I think the policy by the previous government has helped us at this time, because some ambulance in your party and Kenuanka amount for us, because he is small girl can find to ambulance. She was less than 10 years. Someone person saw the metro in private care so that he can have enough speed and then save the girl's life. And then there was another lady, who said to ambulance. The response team was perfect, but the coordination between them was a bit challenging. You understand? And then Ghana, so we should learn say accidents here, how we rush to the accident scene. Because when it comes to Bishop accidents or Fred, say Misha, because of the noise, the response team okay. Say be Bishop here, not say be your team. Team be brave, but the least shouting about Zanka. And yet noise never around now. I believe that you could hear more of them, because maybe I didn't see then the crowd was all over. Being it the siren of the ambulance, the governor 180, so you hardly hear. And then I saw only one sniffing dog.
Dog near can one.
No, I saw one
pet
on the ground. Instead of saying more, because at least they can be release your more. They will be able to sniff around and know where governor were trapped. Yeah. But yesterday it was just one.
Wow.
The fire service were there doing the cuttings and everything, but the coordination. I have issue with the coordination. I said, now we bar the politics aspect of it. We bar and I'm this the instruction. No, it was not helping. I saw the MC was there, the MP was there, the former MP was there, the friends I mean, you could see the power play. Security officers were there, and then emergency management there, you have the command center. So when you have one head, okay, when you have one head who is above the other ranks to coordinate every agency be a person head, a man instruction. Yesterday, for instance, when some of the boys were trying to be a bit rough at the ground, there were police officers standing there. It took one officer. Why won't you go and help the other agency that are being attacked by the friends and around? Because there was no emergency command center to help them. They were just standing there. It took one officer to come and command, say, go and support. You understand? So when it comes to emergency, we have to know the hierarchy involved, the command. You have to know who is in charge, who gives the command. But so Obiama or Danibi. So unye soja ni command. Police in order, he is reluctant to take. Police in order, he is reluctant to take. So then again, how do we manage emergency? This is a case study. Enu anka fanse anka esi enemandi. Building ankolako school mo. Yensi we, but ankolako school. Okay, it's been there for years. What are we doing as a country? Who is responsible? Is it the assembly? Is it the school authority? Or we are going to hold the Ministry of Education responsible? Who do you go after? Freely by negligence.
Can human beings meaning say a building and not me who building that. But me who foot to be meaning say no sometimes you remember this Patabi issue? omo ko bompaya mo sofo bia
yeah blackface airport
omo ko bompaya mo sofo yare nipa 25
yeah
and that dwigu omo so warning upon warnings obi oti ho bia that time ye interview no Kessben obia ye ko hwa ne kasa bia no say that they have said it over and over even a down question so you understand but in your nipa ono no free so enye na bebu so obi adwene no enye na bebu let me get in obi so ya polutu na adwene ama wonwene na nkwa ho che today ukokuma se awo ayi interchange no asokwa interchange no building bi wo ho na nan cancer buadu dia yesi is over a 30 years and cancer buadu agrekinzima ne dai osidu level bi ena engineers ebeka say that is what I heard minim there but engineers city engineers at that time ebe investigating no say that area na we sit down na eye sawmill eti anua no eye dust eye fa say so you know so dust no afra anua no eti ma eda na nye strong so de bi che wo mu si dan wi enso no utwam ahunu si eda na chia eti up to now engineer for kai no papa na ntimi amfa anya adwuma ram tori say wo betimi akofa external engineers aba abe no abe enoma bi a betimi aye strong but me no kase sa de ne yenye papa ne nyusu obi ankobo onfa ma obi ahan eda no da hosi but sometimes when you are passing you see people lying under. You get me? Sometimes you chama, ujina so call police station, ujina Millennium Plaza wa, and ujina interchange na uchama. You say, a dana ya won say me a betimi abuagu at any time. You will see people at the assassin or moda.
Ziga we quite say make say old passport office. Yes, she no.
Aye.
Say about so.
Aye.
As the moment a dimension no, then building what?
Cracks.
Building defects, cracks about.
As
Professor Musa Bresu, the building is still there. We are waiting for it to collapse, and then we'll send national to that place. Then we so we sympathize with those that are more than what prepare. The building is there. Latawes. About soon see no.
Yeah.
There are concerns about it. We don't know what exactly is the problem. You just here for almost 10 years this. Sada and say Jujugua. Damage a cost for my name. The entire road no be block it.
This country na actually you two are no who see. Okay, so yeah na madam Esle usu ni Facebook.
Okay.
Actually team legal wife remove. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, so also Facebook pages.
Where ba ne small ne girl ba ko observe the resident no Kasafa was the name lawyer yi tuntum girl kesi
Ohinewa
Bibi Broni
kan Sandra Broni ma Broni
yes that's ne was ne baba yeah, so she came to post it the mama phone the Facebook page was hacked.
I see.
That's also she came to post the mama phone was hacked. So people should not
say so on
I've seen the post and Broni and I think she's in the UK.
Yeah.
So mama phone has been hacked, so people should not give it attention that it deserves. Though I mean team legal wife also the young money
sorry, but who shall post I maybe obi a ya hack where ya account our minim say be a nipa no will be able to follow a normal opa but I was there on it, but Mr. Jesse Jackson winners here. And you're in the pictures.
Oh no, this is the current post in and also social dates now share mommy Broni.
Well, I'm just giving an update. Was it team legal wife?
Mommy Broni post now. Mommy Broni post now. So social dates in mommy Broni post now. It's clear. CNN mommy Broni that post no. Say me follow me now on Facebook. So the moment I saw it, I say. Man, I go screenshot that post, that got on Facebook saying ya hake.
But the Zika Beso can say beyond my brony no into the Akabia or Hobia or Eugene Jackson DNA. Say, one day or Kane.
No, I did team legal wife as against dates no the other posts now. The time and the intervals no will tell you. So next time of the year winner. Or dear Jackson would na say be the same days in there. They could say any on but say intervals be 2 weeks, 1 week.
We opposed to a Kufado. He said recently not the debate about
repatriation
resolution. Slave resolution. It that Nana Kufado started. That agenda. That's 4 days ago. And 2 days ago, which the day they were celebrating Akusa
Saturday.
And the actual team legal. So now I dear mama me but when we say be a no and they say Madame Eslewusu wouldn't write team legal wife we move or say wife instead of wives.
Yeah,
you understand? That's what I mean. Who say I'm telling you.
That's not come for
no.
So come for
that's the only way I bet me there.
Kojo, quick one on the disaster.
Yeah.
Now we raise the issue about say the emergency teams in Senate more. Yeah, in the politics.
Yeah.
And upon our raise the issue say the full soldiers and they handle emergency Senate more. Could you let's not forget say though. You say a banner appointment to such institutions are normally a political appointment, but then again we can't say those there do not have knowledge about emergency or crisis management. It's wrong. They are deep in terms of disaster management. The man defeating say normally is since a political appointment, so politicians are there anymore. But the technocrats in the woman are experts about emergency management. So let's not downplay their intelligence, okay, because they are political appointments, they don't know anything about emergency. No, that's not how it is. Even in military, I'm need safety officers. But we know people in military, I'm not taking course in emergency and crisis management. Okay, we go on documents, or what are certificates. But the field no one does not show say or you're experts in that unless there's an emergency before you can see.
Okay.
You understand? So I mean, let's give them thumbs up for saving lives yesterday. It's not easy, but we were able to do it. But as a too much as a country, let's try to curb it.
Okay.